Welcome to another episode of the Stillman Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Battisto, and our guest today is going to be Nikade ZInkin. ZInkin is a two-time California state champion from Clovis High School. He was also a four-time state place winner, and he's committed to go to the University of Nebraska. And he just made his move out there, so excited to catch up with him and talk about how that move is going, as well as how it is wrestling in the Nebraska wrestling room. So super excited to share this episode with you guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are also on Spotify. Again, hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, Nikade, super excited to have you on. So you were talking about you live like, what, 2 minutes away from campus? How is that move and what's it been like so far?
Yeah, so we're living basically on campus right next to the Devaney where we work out every day. So it's been super convenient. I'm the only one actually who hasn't brought their car out yet for summer I have three other roommates, Ty Ice, who won a state title this year for Cali, from Colorado, and then Cade Ziola, who's going to be a heavyweight, real good, one who's number one, and then Jake Hockaday, who will be 141, is my three roommates, and we're all super like-minded. I mean, it's been just such a great move and so easy with having a bunch of guys that I'm comfortable with and just like-minded, like I said. So, I mean, it's been great. I mean, we've been going into the room like literally just for fun. The other day we went in at like 11 at night, did a little roll around in sauna, and we were like there till 12:15, 12:30, and we're like went home and came back at 7 a.m. to lift. So, I mean, we're just enjoying it. We're just having fun with it and just loving the process so far.
Well, I feel like those workouts, like those random ones, you're just going on with your boys and just getting better. Like those are like some of the most important ones too.
Yep, absolutely.
So did you fly out there then?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been catching rides a little bit with the boys or what?
Yeah, it's kind of like all three of them have their cars, so it's really just like whoever makes it down there first, we're like, all right, we're just jumping in that car. So it's been kind of easy, but I'm thinking about bringing my car out in August once we're here for good, but I'm still figuring it out just because like it's super far.
Yeah, you probably need a road trip with somebody, maybe like your dad or brother or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So who has the messiest car?
Cade, for sure. We found out in the first 2 days who's messy and who's not. And me and Ty, it's safe to say if me and Ty weren't in this suite, it'd be a junkyard dump.
So is it translate over to like the living situation too?
Yeah. So we're all in a suite together, and then we're all living and we're moving into a house August 1st.
Okay, so it's like a room, it's like two rooms with, I'm sure, like probably either bunk beds or they're like two twins. Okay, we get the tour. Dude, nice TV. Whose TV is that? What the heck?
Oh yeah, Cade's dad brought. So
Let's go.
He lives 40 minutes away. So I mean, his parents have gone grocery shopping like once or twice for us too, and
That's awesome.
a little TV and a bunch of cool stuff. So I mean, yeah, we got two bedrooms with two little twin beds on each side, and then we actually got our own bathroom and own shower instead of like a community one, which is nice too. But we're showering a lot in the locker rooms right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just after workout, that's easier than coming all the way back here, and plus it's healthier.
Yeah.
Are there things like eating? Like that was something I didn't realize how much more you need to do when you get into college. Is like you need to make sure you're eating and eating a lot because you're losing a lot of weight.
Yeah.
How's that? So that might be one thing, but what's this process? I guess been like transitioning into college wrestling.
Well, I'm like in high school, like I really noticed in high school difference wise is like I was the kid that I could literally eat Taco Bell for lunch and go into practice an hour and a half later be perfectly fine. But like literally my first week here, I was just lifting or whatever. I just got done eating lunch and it was kind of like a big sandwich, like dipped in a steak sandwich dipped in mashed potatoes or something. And then I went to go lift. And so right when I was done lifting, I was about to get in the sauna, and Caleb Smith comes in, who's a returning All-American, and he weighs like 147, 148. So he's not no 25 anymore. He's pretty close to me. And he's like, I'm going home today. I need to get a practice in before I leave. And so I was like, all right, perfect. Like, I'll go with you. or whatever. And so instead of sawing, I just practiced with him, and we did a like 45-minute hard drill, and he wanted to finish with first to 10 takedowns. And when my stomach started burning by the third or fourth takedown, like I was like fighting for my life. Like I actually got to be on top of my eating. I got to be on top of my sleeping. And it's just like in college, you're really noticing like you have to put your whole life into it in every aspect. And for Nebraska wise, I mean, they just got a brand new like crazy athletes only building where they give us free meals a day, and it's like crazy to see. I've never seen it in all my visits. I went to like UNC, Michigan, all these nice places, and none of them had like you can order steaks to go, smoothies, however you want them, like all this crazy stuff that it's like free, and it's just really nice to. It's like a blessing to have, and just really grateful for all of it.
Do you have a dietitian as well that kind of gives you like, hey, these are all the things that you need to have in your smoothie, or like this is what you need to eat throughout the week?
Yeah, we got a team dietitian, Coach Ron, he's super cool guy, and we haven't done too much like meal planning yet. He doesn't feel like it's really needed yet, but he's more just showing like, hey, this is what we have to offer, and they have little like stations where it's like balances out like carbs, protein, and all that stuff.
So other than the performance center, like what were some big reasons why you ended up choosing Nebraska? Because you, I think, committed early, right? You committed like during
Yeah,
September.
I committed in September, and it was honestly a pretty long process. I mean, me and my dad going into it, we were like, okay, we're gonna go see everything out, and just with the new rule of you can take as many visits as possible as you want. I mean, they pay for your flights, they pay for hotels. Like you might as well go see it and go. Like it was kind of like we didn't want to just shut anyone down without going and seeing it first. So that's how my recruitment process started. And then what separated Nebraska from everything else is I feel like it was what's important to me is having a room full of guys that are like brothers almost, and it's like the brotherhood of just fighting fighting out there for each other, not only for yourself and just for all the guys around you, and just I feel like it was a super good community and environment that I felt like I can thrive in.
And that's honestly like if from an outsider perspective, just looking at the way they competed, not just in the this last year, obviously they did really well at nationals, but even just in dual meets, like they always have a really good dual team, and it seems like that's apparent, like that kind of brotherhood at Nebraska.
Yeah, definitely. And I saw that too. Like in the visit, like we went over to one of the guys' house and just put on UFC fight, cooked 20 steaks, and just had fun and just enjoyed the time. And so it's been great. I mean, I'm having great fun, a bunch of fun while at the same time training. So
Yeah, and I think again, like those are probably the moments like once you're done with college, like that's what you look back on. It's like just hanging out with the guys, watching UFC fight, eating steak. Like that
yep,
sounds like a good time.
absolutely.
Um, one thing that I noticed that happens too with a lot of guys, and it kind of happens with everybody at some point, I think. But it's like you come in and you're wrestling with guys that are returning All Americans, and they're really tough, and you might go a long period of time where maybe you don't get a takedown or don't
Yeah.
score.
Yeah,
Well, obviously, and you're
that's been
super talented, but yeah,
that's
go ahead.
been the call out lately. Have you got your first takedown yet? I'm like, come on.
Well, it's kind of like I think I got my first one maybe like my fifth day there at CCB, and I got like super excited, but then I didn't get another one for like a month.
Yeah,
It took a
yeah,
while. So who'd you take down for one, or you don't
yeah,
want to call them out?
yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. Like with all these guys, like I know none of them would ever care or anything like that. But it's just I've been scrapping with a lot of the guys. I mean, I've been trying to grab all the good guys. But my first obviously was Caleb Smith when he grabbed me on my first day, and he was like the freshman, like, come on, get over here kind of thing. And we scrapped a lot. I mean, we went pretty head to head. I did have like probably 10 pounds on him, but he's got a little muscle and age, and we went head to head for the first to 10 takedowns. So it was a good scrap. And then on the second day, Peyton, we did 20-minute hand fight straight, and Peyton Robb grabbed me, and that dude is a monster. Like he's like 168 pounds, and he's a Greco guy now. So it was just hand fight, and he's like underhook, moving my head, snapping me down, throwing me into the wall, like holding me in the wall and stuff. And I'm just like, God, this dude's mean. Like he's trying to rip my damn head off. But so that was kind of like a wake up call of like, all right, my hand fight can definitely improve here. Like just little things. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. Like my dad wrestled in college and he's like, you're gonna get there, you're gonna get your butt whooped like a lot. He's like, so be ready for it. But just come back every single day and get a little closer and just a little better every single day, and that's all you could do. But I mean, I like scrapping with Chance Lamer too. He's the transfer from Cal Poly who's going to be the starter at my weight. So me and him kind of have similar styles, like that funky little duck slide by type of action. And so, I mean, the coaches definitely like watching us practice in the room. It's sick.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most fun as a coach is just kind of being able to sit back and just watch guys get after it.
Yeah.
So you're getting after with guys that are super tough. How do you kind of balance like you're wrestling with Peyton Robin, he's kind of throwing you around a little bit. How do you balance where it's like, all right, this sucks obviously, but still
Yeah.
being like still have that confidence where all right, I know I can get better. I just got to keep showing up.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say it's a mindset that's kind of been dug into me since I was a kid. I mean, never giving up. Giving up's not even anything in my blood. Like, it's not even an option for me. So I would just say my mindset, just knowing that, like, hey, even if this dude's gonna slam me 10 times, I'm gonna get back up 11 times. So like, that's just my mindset every single day. Whether that's I'm wrestling Ontrell Taylor and Ridge Lovett, or if I'm wrestling the fourth string. Like I'm just gonna go in there and try my best and do my hardest. That's all I can really do, you know?
Yeah, and you said you kind of had that mentality since you were a kid. At what point, I guess, did you start taking wrestling like seriously? Was it like from right out the get go?
Yeah, I mean, I could remember at 6 and under was my first ever tournaments. I was 5 years old, so on the younger side wrestling 6 and under, and my I went to Reno Worlds, which is like the big tournament for kids. And I could remember my first year, my dad or my brother won the tournament at 10 and under, and I went like 2 and 2, I think. And I was like so mad that my brother won it and that I wasn't as good yet. So from like that point on, I was just practicing every single day, like thinking to myself, no way my brother is gonna just win all these tournaments and I'm gonna be the one that sucks and stuff. So that just kind of pushed me, and then I started getting a lot of Eagles like from 8 and under and up. So I'd say it started getting serious then.
When you think back, like on all the tournaments you've been to, like all the different events from Reno to Doc B to state, what's like your favorite event to compete in?
Favorite event? That's a good one. I would say as a kid, obviously all those roll. Actually, I really liked Virginia duels, VAC duels as a kid, which is really tough tournament. You get 10 matches with the best kids in the country. So as a kid, I would have to go Virginia duels. And then once I got into high school, I might be a little biased, but I think the Doc B is pretty hard to beat.
I mean, definitely for you, just because it's like your home turf, and it's like
Yeah.
some of the best wrestlers in the country are all coming to your
Yeah, I
backyard
mean,
just
I
because you
can't
have
even really remember like every single year I had like some electric win in the Doc B. So I mean, it's just always been great. And I like people used to talk about saying Doc B's my peak of the season because I'm always taking like in the semi sophomore year, I took out nationally ranked Gage Walker. Semis of junior year took out, or no, Quintero was sophomore year. Junior year was Gage Walker, and then senior year was Drew Gorman, who wrestled in Who's Number One. So three pretty solid semifinal wins every year.
It seems like what you care about most is the competition. Like it's not that's like you talk to some kids and they're talking about going to Fargo just because it's the trip and they get to hang out in the dorms and
Yeah.
they got like the black market where they trade singlets and stuff.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
seems like you're down just like all right, do I get to wrestle tough guys?
Oh yeah, I love to compete. You know, Super 32, Fargo, all those tournaments, Doc B. That's what gets me excited. I mean, anyone can go win the fanciest belt, but what it took to get the belt is what really matters to me.
Do you feel like practices and your experience with Clovis High School and obviously Dethrone do you feel like it's kind of prepared you for college wrestling?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when coaches in college wrestling really say like that they like to recruit certain teams or certain who are under certain coaches, like I 100% agree with it because I really feel like without Clovis High and like Coach Adam Terapelli, like the stuff that he has told me throughout my career and like just switching over my mindset really just like I can remember freshman, sophomore year, I'd hang on to wins and just whatever it takes to win or get 2 to 3 points ahead and just hold on. There's 1 minute left. Rather than changing my mindset like junior, senior year, it's like, okay, it's the second round. I'm up 4 points. Let's see if I can get up to 8 or 9 points before this round's over. Or just switching over that mindset of really just going out there and letting loose and just seeing how well you can really do. I mean, like, it's just a challenge every single match of, hey, well, what am I going to do different to open this guy up or to put up as much points on the board as possible? So I feel like that little adjustment is just one of the many changes Adam Terapelli engraved into me and made me a way better wrestler.
I think that's super interesting because you're talking about like how much of a competitive guy you are, and it's like you want to win, right? And it's
Yeah,
like, well, coach, like if I'm up by 4 and you're saying I need to go get another takedown,
yeah,
I might give up a takedown too. So it's like how do
yeah,
you kind of get over that mentality then if you're kind of fighting
yeah.
against a little bit of your nature?
I mean, it's just the risk and reward factor, you know? I mean, especially with how my wrestling style is, I'm not afraid to just let everything go and just send it. Like that's what I like to do. That's what makes wrestling fun in my case at least. I like to do cartwheels and throws and all that crazy stuff. So, I mean, really at the end of the day, I just think you got to believe in your training and believe in what you do and just go out there and try to be as confident as possible and just put on a showcase of what you have to offer, really.
I think we had to wrestle. I think I'm trying to remember at what event. It might have been your sophomore year, but I was like, yeah, dude, watch out for his cartwheel. We were trying to figure out like, okay, like we just got to make sure our legs posted. Like, don't go down to your knee ever because he's gonna hit that cartwheel.
Yeah.
So when you're saying like, if I'm trying to prepare to wrestle somebody like you, how would you identify your style and what are maybe some areas that you feel like you need to develop a little bit more?
Yeah. I mean, based off kind of what I've been seeing, and I could say you see a pretty good gauge of where you're at, even in 2 or 3 weeks in the college room. Um, and the coaches have said like it's a lot easier to try to bring someone in that has the whole set of all the moves and bring them down to like just the core. Let's do all these as good as possible rather than a guy that comes in with a double leg takedown and that's it. And they have to expand everything. So they're like, we love how you throw the kitchen sink and throw everything at them, but let's try to work like for example, instead of going straight to a high flyer from the leg, let's sprawl first and get your legs back, push the hips, hit the corner, or also hand fight for sure. Getting my hands on them and moving them before getting to a shot. And I've noticed one little position with wrestling Chance Lamer is I got to a lot of reattacks where I'm on the front head running down the corner, but I wasn't holding this side down hard enough. So when I was running down the angle, he'd come up and we'd come into a scramble. So I mean, it's really just like little things like that that just make the big difference in college wrestling. And so I'm just slowly making little adjustments every single day, working with Coach Snyder, Coach Manning, all those guys.
So you're wrestling this go with Chance, is Snyder or Manning or Green or whoever, are they off to the side kind of watching and they're like giving you feedback right away,
Yeah.
or is it
So
something like after?
yeah, they're all kind of scrambling throughout the room, watching everyone the whole time. They all kind of like move, I would say, pretty evenly throughout the whole room of where they're all at. They don't really stay on one group of people, but yeah, like they'll just come in and like Snyder, for example, he right after the live go, he kind of just pulled me to the side while we're on a break, and he's like showing me to keep my hand on the chin and instead of on the ankle, maybe on the back of the thigh to run it down and keep pressure into him. So it's just like little things like that that really just help and just minimal adjustments.
Do you call him Coach Snyder or do you call him Dr. Snyder?
Yeah, we do call him Doc Snyder. Yeah.
I feel like if I got my doctorate, like I'd be like, you gotta put some respect on my name. You gotta call me
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah, we do call him Doc. Doc Snyder.
Dude, he's got to be wicked smart when it comes to a lot of different wrestling positions too.
Oh his wrestling IQ is super high. As long also with just everyday life IQ. Yeah.
I did want to ask this. So, you know, you there's certain guys that you wrestled a lot, but I don't think there's any more people that you've wrestled multiple times. You wrestled Joseph Toscano. Was it like 7 times or 8 times?
Yes,
Is
we
it is this
wrestled
something that you get
7 times.
excited for, or are you just like, dude, can we just
Yeah.
not wrestle each other? Let me give me somebody
Yeah.
else.
Well, I would say towards the start of the year, I was always super excited. I mean, like I said, I love wrestling the high end guys and the better competition. That's what I get excited for. That's what I'm out here to do every single day. Practice every single day to wrestle the best of the best guys. I mean, no one's out here practicing to beat the number 40 guys in the state or number 35 guy in the state. Like the number one spot is where I want to be, and number two is like not good enough for me. So I just get excited, wrestling Toscano, who's such a good competitor and real hard to open up and score on. I mean, it was just a really good test for me, especially I feel like going into my senior year. I mean, there's nothing really better that sets me up for the Big Ten than wrestling someone real good like Joseph Toscano every week.
It seems like there were situations and matches where he would try something, and that would be like, all right, like here's my moment. Like now I can put him onto his back, or now I can get a score.
Yeah.
Like, even your Doc Beef finals this year, he goes for like a Merkel, and he almost got back points, but you wrestled through it, and then you got like a standing reversal and just picked him up and just sent him through the floor. And it's
Yeah.
like moments like that. I think it's like when he's trying to score, being a little bit too over aggressive, like you're able to capitalize.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of going along just being in my free open-minded state, like I had zero clue what was going on. Like if you were to ask me what was just happening, I would be like I have no clue what I just did. But when I'm in the match, I mean I just have a really feel blessed by God and he just showed me the way and when I'm in the match, I wasn't even thinking. I was just like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And right when I hit that corner and he stood up, I felt the body lock. So that's when I sent it.
So when you talk about like you have all these different kind of array of moves that you can do, are these things that you're actively kind of practicing, or is it something where you're kind of learning just kind of random techniques and you're able to kind of just pull from them and just put them into your wrestling sequence?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a little bit of both. I mean, I would say not, you'll never really get the exact feel in practice that you're going to get in the live match of like, as of like how the guys are going to react exactly. But I mean, even in practice, like I'm still a goer. Like I still like doing little like throws and back trips and stuff like that. So I mean, I wouldn't say like no when we're drilling, like I'm not gonna go stand and five someone while we're drilling. But like if we're in a live situation, like I'll definitely shoot a double leg, go up to underhook and try to go upper body and just honestly just feel out the position. Like I like back trips and stuff like that. So just I like feeling their hips and feeling like how they're reacting and just I do like to send it because I mean honestly, worst comes to worst, I get put to my back in the practice room and so what? I got to feel the position and feel what not to do maybe the next time.
Well, when I think about like super great like minds in our sport, like one of them comes to mind is Ben Askren, and he always talks about like putting himself layers into a position. So it's like you're not just shooting a double leg; it's like I'm shooting a double leg, and then if he stops it, then there's the next position, and then if he
Yeah.
defends that, then there's the next position. So I
Yep,
think
absolutely.
the more you put yourself in there, the better and deeper you're gonna be able to go in matches.
And that's the great part about wrestling, you're never satisfied, you're never the best in every single position possible because there's always more layers to learn.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so one thing that I do want to ask you is so later we're going to have Adam Tirpelli on the podcast.
Right.
If you had to ask him like one or two things, what would you ask him?
One or two things for Coach Adam. Let's see. Now that I'm at the college level, I definitely think I gotta ask a question about hmm. I would have to say I want to think something about his NCAA title. I have asked him. I was like, "So what did you do the night after you won the NCAA's?" And like I'm pretty sure he gave me like the lousiest like old man answer I've ever heard. Like
What did he
I think
say?
he was like, I went out to dinner with my wife and like I think the coaches, and then I went to bed in the hotel. I was too tired. I was like, come, you just won an NCAA title and you ate dinner and went to bed. But like that's just the guy he was, you know. Like I definitely think he was a crazy, crazy workaholic in college, especially. I don't know if you knew this. A lot of people don't know, but he was at Stanford before
Stanford for a year, right?
yeah, before Illinois. So I would say maybe a question I have for Adam is on an estimate, how many extra hours of work, counting lifting, cardio, wrestling, everything, besides just team workouts, how much extra time did he put in before he got the NCAA title in college?
How much extra? Okay. Yeah, I feel like that would be a good one. Because I think it's kind of like what you were talking about earlier, like getting those extra practices, just going out like 11 at night and just going to go work out with
Yeah.
the boys.
Or maybe
Um,
even just his senior year alone, where he got the state title or where he got the NCAA title. How much that year alone did he put in outside of team workouts?
you know about John Smith, how you do those extra stadium workouts at
Yeah,
night because he knew the
yeah,
Russians were working out. So he's like, I
yeah,
make it up. But he's
yeah,
like, some of it's like, yeah, obviously the physical stuff, but a lot of it's like the mental stuff. It's like I'm
yeah.
working out harder than the Russians do. Like I know I am.
Yeah, especially like that's what my dad tells me a lot is like working when your opponents aren't. So it's just like the mental aspect of, all right, it's 10 o'clock at night. If my opponent's in bed eating ice cream, about to go to bed, let me get let me get one little run in. Let me get 2 mile run in and 10 minute roll around with the dummy. Just in just that 30 minutes alone that day, you got 30 minutes better than your opponent.
Were you doing that stuff in high school too?
Oh yeah, I would say every other day at least I was doing something. But junior year I could remember like literally every single day I couldn't do I'd have to do extra workouts to make weight for 126. And so like I couldn't even take a day off like or else I'd gain 5 or 6 pounds without working out. So like I was coming home like I would lift in the morning, go to practice, and then I'd leave practice and go straight to dethrone for like an hour and 20 minutes and then leave dethrone and then go on a run and sauna. Like and that was like an everyday thing for junior year. And that's why I blew up in weight after junior year. I was like, I'm never doing that again. That was the worst thing ever.
How do you like? What do you do after the season? Are you just like, all right, like I'm dialing back, like
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
taking
I'm
a
not
step
gonna
back?
lie. Like, I blew up my junior and senior year wasn't as bad, but like I from 126, I was 2 nights after state tournament, I was 160 from 126. So
Wait, 2 nights,
2 nights, two.
bro? What are you putting in your body? You're just like super
Yeah.
hydrated. You're
So
eating ice cream.
yeah, I checked my weight after the state finals my junior year. The weight was 128, and then that after the state finals, like before I ate anything, I went straight to my brother's house because he lived in Bakersfield, and I weighed in, and I was 140. So that was before I even had any food that night. So I went to bed at like probably 146 by just that night alone.
That's wild. So
Yeah.
what weight are you gonna wrestle this year?
I'm gonna be 149, but I'm gonna be redshirting. So I'm kind of just we're still got little things to figure out. I think I'm gonna wrestle obviously 5 matches. Hopefully we're gonna get me in one of the big duels, but we'll have to see because we got Chance Lamer who's 5th year. Then we also have a 5th year Blake Cushing who's gonna be 49, who's a real hard worker. So we'll have to see, but yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm really excited to watch you compete this year. Before we let you go to practice, or anything you want to add?
No, that's it. I mean, just appreciate you for having me out and love the Cali wrestling. Keep putting on for the state.